Well, a while back I made a video about how I was planning the expansion of the internal goat pens. And it's good that we did all that, and then I made a video about it because we just pulled it all out. We had all that measured and marked and painted, and we yanked it all out. And we're probably going to change half of it. I don't know that for sure. But we pulled it out so that I could do dirt work. If you guys remember, you go back and watch that video, I think I mentioned that I had to get some dirt filled down in there. Well, it is quite the challenge to get in here with a box blade, to say the least, around all these pine trees. I'm really not a fan of piling dirt up around the base of the trees. I'm hoping they'll be okay because I only added like a foot, maybe 2 at most. But anyway, I had to pull, you can kind of see where the alley was at and where I put new dirt. I had to pull all the panels out just so I could actually get a decent grade work done. Right in here it got a little squishy on me, because if you recall the video about taking down the trees in the goat pen, there was a big stump right there. There was another stump in here that was an old existing stump, and there was another little small stump right here. I pulled all 3 of them out. I just reached across the fence with the excavator and dug them out. They're piled up over there. But unfortunately, the process of digging those stumps out really gets this subsoil worked up and it gets squishy. So there's a big rotten spot right in here now. Drive across with the tractor, it just would sink and leave ruts. I wouldn't get stuck, but it would squish down and just leave nasty ruts. It's not workable. We'll have to give it a couple weeks. It'll kind of settle, it'll dry out, it'll pack back in, and then eventually we'll be able to work right across the top of it. But I think within the next couple of weeks, ideally, we pretty much have to, within the next couple of weeks, get the rest of these internal pens built. And so that just means that we're going to have to come in here with a shovel later on, and we're going to have to do some of this stuff by hand. There's still what, to me, it looks like there's a little bit of a high spot out in here, but I'm hoping that it will just find a way to drain off over there or drain off out there without actually pushing water over towards the barn. That was the ultimate goal, obviously, right? Is that the barn is the high point and everything sheds away. But again, it was so tedious trying to work in around here with the box blade. I actually took the front end loader off the tractor, which made a huge difference as far as being able to get in and work. And all this dirt, by the way, was all baled in. I just shoveled out. I guess I should show you. But over there beside the driveway, kind of reaching out in the woods, there was an area where we'd pushed out a bunch of dirt years ago. Whenever we were opening up where the house is going to go, we'd wasted all that overburden. Now you got to go way back to like 2014, 2015 maybe. Goodness gracious, was when we were filling all this soil in here. So you see it drops off on the far side of the driveway. It used to drop off on this side of the driveway too. We wasted all that overburden in here, which has built all this up, which is great because it's given us a good elevated area to work with things and have the goat pen. Otherwise we would have had, I don't know if the goat pen would have been in the backyard, I guess. We would have had nowhere else to put it. So anyway, yeah, I kind of took advantage of that, of where we had wasted a lot of that dirt. We had pushed some way further out in the trees, so I baled a lot of it back with the excavator, and then I just tracked back and forth with it because, of course, I still don't have my dump truck. So anyway, I just tracked back and forth with it because my dump truck is still in the shop, which I wouldn't have really been able to use it anyway, but ideally I would have been able to haul dirt from the pond area, you know, dump it right here, and then just bail it over the fence. But made it work. Always find ways to make it work. And I just dumped all that in here over the fence as far as I could reach and kind of shoved it out with the bucket. Kind of established a high dry spot right in here, and then it gave me enough space to get in with the tractor and start pushing it all out. So anyway, like I said, still gonna have to dress a lot of it with a shovel and a rake, work around the trees and get those little high spots knocked down, but we've at least now got the established, mostly level but sloping drainage area that we need to put in all the sub pens. Obviously we've still got our little buck pen in here, and we've got to put together pens for wethers and kids and milking does and everything else, because of course we also want to take this front pen down and move it into here as part of the main pen. So anyway, I just wanted to show you that, wanted to share that little bit of work that we did, and tell you kind of how I did it. I know I cheated with my big boy toys, but like I said, it was trying to work in around here, and you can see there's plenty of spots where I hit the tree with the bucket loader there and hit it there, and yeah, it doesn't take too many times of doing that before you just get frustrated and take the bucket off. It takes like 5 minutes, so I'm really happy that I did. Anyway, sounds like I'm getting called in for dinner, so I'm gonna head that away. But yeah, just want to show you that things are clicking right along. All right, well, we're finally getting some progress made on the build out here. So we have reconstructed what will be the milker pen for now, and it's small, but it's no smaller than the old one was, actually 16 by 16 but with the room to grow east. So for right now it's 16 by 16. We've mounted the gate right here in the middle. We've actually put the gate strategically so that when it opens, it will be able to latch right on the corner of the barn and block off the rest of the alley. So we'll be able to, of course there's a gate right there that blocks off that end of the alley. So we'll be able to open the pen for the milkers, block that off, and then basically just have the door of the barn open. They can run right in without being able to run up and down the alley. So trying to do a little bit of planning that way, but actually what I'm working on now is deconstruction, which sucks. This was the little pallet house that we built for the milkers, and you know, building it was quick, fast, and dirty. Throw down pallets, grab the nail gun, bang, 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 nail a bunch of slabs on the outside. But because of how we did that now, I can't just take it apart piece by piece like I'd like to. You know, in theory, it's like, oh, it's a couple pallets. Just pull the 4 pallets apart and your house is apart. But that really wasn't how it happened. It was more stick framed in place, nail the crap out of it. So now I'm having to basically tear the entire thing apart, which gives me an opportunity to maybe change it if I want to. I don't know that I really will, but at least gives me the opportunity to. So we'll just kind of see. Right now I'm just going through, peeling the boards off and just throwing them down. They are what they are, and then I'll go through and pull the nails out of them and kind of decide where I want to go from there. Go ahead, Callie, scratch it. Oh, that's it. That's the spot. This poor girl, I don't know if she's got dry skin from being pregnant or what. I don't think it's mites or anything. But man, she loves a good scratch right now. You can go in there and scratch her for days. Oh yeah, that's it. Wow, look at this. Remember when there was the milker pen there? So we'll give you just a quick kind of tour. Now we've got all the pens kind of sorted out and laid out. We got, obviously the house used to sit right here beside the other one. You still see where all the hay is on the ground, obviously. We got that pen torn down yesterday, and they are relocated just right over here. So we'll walk in here and show you the layout now as it stands. So we still come in through the same kind of general junior pen. We call it the junior pen. Non-bred does, or open does, whatever you want to call them. We go through this first gate by the barn, and this gets us into the alleyway. We got to get a better latch. That latch is temporary. We'll ultimately set a wooden post here and put a quick latch on this. So now we're in the alleyway. This little front pen in the alleyway, this house is going to get moved, and this will be kind of just a small holding pen, general holding pen that's kind of part of the alley, but not necessarily. I mean, it depends on which gates you have open. But this will be our milker pen, which of course will be right up front, closest to the barn door, because those will be where we're going in and out the most. And we've set this up so that this gate, when you open it to let the milkers out, sorry for that, when you open it to let the milkers out, it swings over and it will have a quick latch right here. So it'll block off the alley. So that'll give direct access for the milkers straight to the barn, you see. We'll shut that one back. And again, I've got to get a frame built for that. So we come on down the alleyway here. We put in this little pen, which will be like a general nursery pen, play pen, whatever you want to call it. So whenever we have does that have kidded, of course they'll kid in the barn, but then when the weather's nice, we'll be able to get them out here and we'll get them in this small pen. It could be a sick pen, it can be just kind of whatever. We've got to get another little hut like that one. We'll get another little hut built over here in this corner just so there's some general protection if somebody does have to be in this pen in bad weather. And then we expanded the buck pen, so the gate into the buck pen is still the same. Their pen used to run straight along this T-post line. We basically doubled the size of their pen, so now they've got more space going out here. Now ultimately there'll only be 2 bucks, ideally, maybe 3, it just kind of depends. But for right now, like I said, right now we are holding the third one. We're fostering him, but we don't plan to keep him. We don't need him, he's the brother of this one, so we don't need brothers really. Anyway, so as the bucks get bigger, and you know, they just need to have a little more space to roam, because this is ultimately their permanent pen. They won't ever really get out of this pen. The open does and the juniors, of course, will still be able to roam outside, down the tractor alley, around the back, and they have the whole outer pen out there where the little trailer's at and the logs are at. So there's plenty of room to run and bounce around out there for the general goats. So last thing left to do, I've got to build, there's going to be a gate right here, and we space this such that this gate will hinge off of this post, and when it's open, it'll block off the alley this way. So again, if we're taking goats out of this holding pen, we'll open the gate, it'll block off the alley right here, and it'll run them straight to the barn. So again, a little bit of strategy, trying to think through which way to face the gates and whatnot. I'm not going to build a big mega frame like that. It's way too big, way too heavy, way too difficult. I'm going to build a square, basically just like a door frame. Put a piece of treated wood across the bottom if I can find one. 2x4s up the side, and then a header board across the top as well. We'll put some angle bracing so it doesn't rack. Basically just build a wooden door frame and then hang the gate inside. I think it'll work really well. We kind of did that yesterday here, just temporarily, just to get this gate up so we could get the goats moved. But you kind of get the idea. It'll have 2x4s on either side. We'll be able to wire it right up to the T-post so it'll hold, and it will sit on the ground so it'll be stable there. So anyway, the great move is mostly done. We're just finishing up the doors and whatnot here, or the gates. So maybe I'll try to get those, at least one built right now, and I'll show you what we're after. All right, so last thing I want to show you guys is how I did these little wooden frames. I didn't have any treated lumber today, but this will do for now. Honestly, this pine here, actually this has been laying out already for a year, and it's still pretty solid. It's not like it just rotted and totally dissolved away. So I imagine we'll get a couple of years out of them as long as they're not really abused. Real simple framework, just laid a board, obviously built a square frame, put the angle braces up top just to give us some racking support. And it's amazing how much difference that makes to have that little bit. Could probably do a little bit more if I wanted to, but really it's plenty solid to hold up this gate. Really all the weight of the gate is on this post, obviously, which is wired to this post. Now I need to round a few more. I ran out of wires. Means I've just got 2 wires up top. That's it. So a lot of the weight's actually transferred down to the ground. But yeah, I need to run a lot more wires. If there was a way that I could really truly clamp it to the post, that would be better. Or if I could set a stronger post, ideally I could just set like a 4x4 concrete. That'd be the best. But again, I didn't really want to make any of this too permanent because we don't plan on having the goats here forever. And I know 4x4 post and concrete, that's $5 or $10, whatever. It's not that big of a deal. But anyway, I like this. It's quick, it's simple. We use what we had. So that one's set up there. Here's the other one set up here. I really like the way they look. I don't know why. I like that look. It's like almost like a Western corral. I don't know. I like it. So anyway, yeah, that's it, man. We got the gate braces are up. Like I said, this one that I built, I thought that was a really cool idea to use that old tube steel I had in here, or that old pipe, but it's ridiculously heavy, top heavy, hard to work with. These are basically just built in place, stand them right up. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, buck pens got a whole new place to roam. They love it. They really like that they can get over here now. Today they got over here and they could see through to see the does over here, even though of course Callie's pregnant, but Halo is not. Halo was over there teasing them, and they were just, poor little boys were just going nuts. So anyway, yeah, super cool. We're super happy with it. Not sure what I'm going to do with this area out front yet, but it's been getting fertilized for a year now, wood chips and goat manure. So I fully intend to till it and plant something. I just got to decide what I'm going to plant. But for now, the goat pen is mostly redone. Okay, one more thing. We got to figure out where we're going to put this little hut here. We're planning on moving it probably on the south side of the buck pen out there, which is kind of weird because it'd be out there on its own. But that's about the only place we can put it because I don't want to. We could temporarily move it for now, just right here beside the goat house. But I need to keep that alleyway clear so I can get the tractor in if I ever have to. So on the south side of the buck pen, or over here on the east side, is really the only place that it can go. It can't stay anywhere on the west side of the barn, and barely even on the south side because there's just not that much space. So anyway, the goat pen redo is mostly done. It's done enough that I'm going to publish this video to give you guys some ideas on how you might want to redo your own. And then I'll probably just make a video later whenever we actually do get around to moving this thing. We've got to figure out a plan on exactly how we're going to move it before we move it. And yeah, maybe I can just saw some 4x4s and slip them under like skids and just drag it. That'd be the best. Cool. I'll work on that. Anyway, that's it for now.
That is okay if all the boys play around. around here?
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Okay. You're gonna let the boys out.
So I just had to brag a little bit about the corral system working like it's supposed to. So I'm over here feeding the goats, and the kids are all out, of course, with me. So lucky for me, the kids had gone through this gate and had shut it behind them. They somehow, I don't know how they did it, but they somehow latched it behind them. So that gate was closed, and I hear Kenzie screaming, oh no, I let the goats out, Prince is out. So I look, Prince is right here. So Prince, of course, came bolting over here and would probably try to take advantage of one of these females if he could, but he couldn't get to him because the kids had closed this gate. So I instructed the kids on how to run him back down the alley here, and they got him around the corner, and then they shut this gate and lashed it in. Of course, now the boys are out here, all of them, because the kids have given up. But the point is, the kids were able to corral the goats on their own just by using the gates in the right order that they need to. Caroline, stop! What are you going to tear it off the hinges? Okay, well now before Caroline destroys things, I need to put the boy goats away and lock it up. But anyway, I'm just excited to see the corral and the alleyway here actually working like it's supposed to by design. It was kind of fun. I didn't plan it. The kids just kind of did it for me. So we'll get these boys put away and locked up like they need to be.